Morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing some work on the Boxster. So it's been in here since it was delivered. I didn't get a chance to look over it at all with work and everything like that. But as you can see, it's now in the garage. We're going to look over it today, just see what we can find, to be honest with you. It's got one interesting feature, which when I went to put some petrol in it the other day, if we just unlock it, can you tell me what's missing? Yeah, how on earth has that gone missing? It beggars belief. I've had it on trickle charge on the C-Tech for a good few days now. That's looking good. That was just to keep it charged up whilst it's in the garage. But as you can see, well, it fits in the garage, so that's one good thing. We're going to try and get it up on the ramps. Well, we are going to get it up on the ramps today. We're going to look at the coolant. Because I think we've got a potential issue with a bit of sludge in there. So I think it's going to need to be cleaned out. I don't think it's a head gasket. From lots of investigations that I've done, I think it's the oil cooler, which is the problem here. So I'm hoping that the set of seals that I got from GSF we'll sort that out. These are genuine German, as it says, that's original German seals. So these are the four that go on the oil cooler. Sits on top of the engine, basically separates the oil and the water from the engine as it runs. Now, if these seals break down and get very, very crumbly, now this is done 173,000 miles. So I'd imagine if it's not on its second oil cooler, if it's original, then they're going to be completely shot. So yeah, we're going to take the oil cooler off once we've drained the system and see what we find. But I've got to put this into service mode yet. So this is all new to me. I've never worked on a Porsche before, mainly Land Rovers. So let's see how I get on. Now, I just know this wing mirror is going to get in the way. So I'm going to try and fold it in. But I think, yeah, this should fold. Right. Let's see if we can get a small win. Get some GT. See if we can just help it on its way. Hey, there we go. Small wins and all that. All right. Excellent. All right, get it jacked up. Okay, so we mentioned earlier about the coolant, which is the main thing I want to look at today. So the coolant in the Boxster's in the back here, as you probably know. And let's get a torch. And then let's just show you, hopefully. Maybe I'll shine it from the bottom. There we go. Looks interesting, to say the least. Let's put the old screwdriver in there. Look at that. Not good. So as I say, hopefully it's the seals on the oil cooler. It could be the oil cooler. I hope it's not the head gasket. I don't think it is on these. It's very unlikely, especially on the 2.7. So the idea today is we're going to drain what's in here out, flush it through. I've got this really good piston, which has been recommended to me by a number of people. I've got another bottle of this coming. So basically I'm going to drain it, put this stuff in, clean water, flush it through probably 3-4 times. All the hoses are going to need to be done as well, because the radiators on this are actually sitting at the front. They're behind the bumper here. So I'm going to need to take the bumper off, I think, and flush through all the hoses that are sitting underneath. So that's the plan for today. So next job, we're going to put it in service mode, because the engine is sitting over there. We need to get the roof back, get this flipped up so I can get access to the oil cooler, which I think, I might be wrong, is in this area. But we've got to get it up on jack stands now so I can get underneath it to drain the coolant, and I'm going to drain the oil as well, see what state that is, because if that looks like hot chocolate, then it's probably looking like the oil cooler, the head gasket is actually gone. But in saying that, I did check this before I drove it back from being delivered, and this, whoops, he says as he drops it, this is okay. It's quite clean. It's just oil in it. Yeah, and smells of oil and not petrol or anything nasty like that. So, or coolant even. But yeah. So let's get this jacked up, and then we can start draining the coolant, drain the oil, and then start repairing the seals. Okay, so we're going to move the Porsche now over to the right because I need a bit more room. Right, we're started. It's an unconventional method of getting out. I've not got very little room down here, so that's good. Let's see what room we've got down the other side. Yep, I think there's going to be enough. Maybe a little bit too much room on this side, but yeah, should be right. I'm going to jack it up to 4 axle stands. I'm not going to be able to get it ramps in because the ramps are too big. The profile of the car at the front won't allow me to go up the ramps, so I'm going to jack it up. Let's get that done now. Okay, it's up. Now, I don't mind telling you what a complete ball ache that was getting this thing up in the air. So I've got 2 jacks. I've got my normal Land Rover jack down there, which I didn't think would be low profile enough. But it's done okay actually. I had to go around one side at a time. I had to jack up using the cross member up there at the front, the strong point, and then put these stands underneath. I'm going to need to adjust that one. That's just a little bit too far over. And then I used Ian's jack, which is very low profile and very high lift, to get underneath and jack off of the suspension there and over there. And then I'll just set these really sturdy jacks that my dad built many years ago. So thanks, Dad, they're excellent. I wouldn't have anything else supporting the weight of the vehicle. So I've got about 50 centimetres clearance now, which is going to give me plenty of space to get up there, drain the coolants and do what I need to do. Look at this, oh, this is incredible. I had a quick look at the exhaust and yeah, look at that, what a mess. Yeah, some interesting things dingle-dangling around here as well. I've got, what was it that I found? Oh, it looked like some kind of parking sensor. Oh, here we are. I mean, what on earth is that? Just hanging around there. I don't press it in case it blows up. But yeah, I hate this exhaust. I know I keep going on about it. Look at it. I can't see any make on it. I don't know if it's something special. But yeah. Anyway, things to do. So, let's get the hood into service mode so I can get the panels off and I'll start draining the fluid. Okay, let's put this into service mode. I've never done this before, so let's see what happens, shall we? I think first you've just got to get the roof or the clam part into the most open it's going to be. So this is going to involve a little bit of gymnastics. Yep, I think that's about right actually from the videos I've seen. So because this has got the glass screen, you can't push that back in. What we have to do now, okay, it looks like these aren't attached, but there are a couple of clips down here apparently. Let me just get my torch. Of course, I'm assuming that there's one cable, I think. Yes, right, so, I mean, all you Porsche guys out there will know this, like the back of your hand, but to me, this is all new. Just take you with me, see what I'm trying to do. Just get a tool to lever that off. I think that'll do. There we go. God, this isn't easy. I can feel it coming, but right, I'll stop there. Okay, little update. Finally got it into the service position, as Porsche call it. Yeah, bit of a ball ache again. Big problems trying to get off these. Where have they gone? There's two straps down here. There we go. Couldn't get them off from this end, so I had to reach right down and prise them off. They're just ball joints, so I don't understand why it's so difficult, but they were really on there tight. I had to leave them off carefully because I don't want to split this, because this is the membrane that if you pierce this, you then get water right under the front of the front seats, and then bang goes your ECUs. So anyway, I've managed to get the flap up. I'm going to lift this up and keep this up in the air, and there she is. So a 2.7 flat 6 Porsche engine. Very dusty, as you'd imagine. I've also been inside and took all the covers off in here. Yeah, literally, you're seeing this for the first time that I have seen it. So yeah, I'll have a look at the belt, have a look at the tensioners. But what I've got to do now is get underneath. It's took 3 hours to get this far so far. Jacking it up, as I said, was a real pain. I've got to get myself a long reach jack, and obviously in the confines of a garage, it's very difficult, especially one person. So, but yeah, I did it safely, as you saw earlier. It's on some really good jack stands. So it's time to get underneath, drain that coolant, find this oil cooler, get those seals changed, drain a bit of oil, and see where we are. So catch you in a bit. Okay, so what we're going to do first, we're just going to do a little pressure test on the water system, just to see if it will hold pressure. So I've got this pretty good kit from eBay. I think it's about 30 quid, but I've used it for lots. It's not just a pressure tester, but you can also refill coolant under pressure, which gets rid of air bubbles and that kind of stuff. So they all come with different attachments. The one for the Boxster is number 11, which is this one here. So you screw that on the top and connect up the line. That's it, and then you just pump. Okay. And we'll just see if we can hold any pressure. We'll try and get up to about 25, I think. It should be fine for this. It should easily be able to hold that. But obviously the more pressure you've got in here, the more chance there is of finding a leak. But that's what we want to find. If there is a split in one of these hoses, we don't want to be flushing it all out and then putting new coolant in, which is expensive, only to see it all drip out. There we go, that's better. So, that's top of the shop. So that's 15, 16, 17, 18, just over 18 PSI, which is what, 1.25 bar, 1.3 bar should I say. Hopefully you can see that there. So, we'll leave that for a good 5 minutes I suppose, and see what it's like when they come out. In the meantime, I'm going to go underneath and just get the correct Torx bit, I think it is, for the coolant, and I will drop a little bit of the oil as well, just to see what condition it's in. So let's take the camera with you, with me even. And the Great British weather. Awful, awful, awful. Let's get the camera. So, I've got a big crate to catch the coolant. Let's get my torch. So, there we go. That's the oil filter. Let's just have a look at the condition under here. I want to get this down actually. This needs to come down. I want to see if there's any major leak between the gearbox, which could look to the rear seal. I might be able to see in there with the camera actually. I can't get up there. Right. God, the state of them bolts. I hope that doesn't have to come off anytime soon. Exhaust on that side, it's not too bad. It's obviously missing the engine cover. There's the remains of it. Jacked up nicely over there. Look at all of these arms and stuff at some point. The discs, God, they don't look good. They're not good at all. very crusty. Anyway, look at this. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, the camera's getting in the. Let's try from that angle. Maybe that's better. There we go. Held on with exhaust putty and a prayer. Bung out there. Oh God, I'm not running down here. Okay, well it's been about 5-10 minutes, and let's have a look. So yeah, it's held pretty well. That's well, it's held very well. It's basically dropped a tiny fraction, probably a millimetre. So 15, 16, 17, it's dead on 18 psi. So we'll take this off now. Release the hose, release the pressure. I couldn't see any leaks underneath, so we'll have another look. But yeah, take that off. These are always tight. There we go. Back in this little hole. That's that done. So looking under here, it doesn't look like we've got any leaks. I have had a look under there with a torch, but no leaks, so that's good. So now it's time to drain the coolant. Large O-rings have finally arrived. Didn't get them from Porsche in the end. The ones they sent me, wrong ones, and they charged me 25 quid. I picked up these from a company in Leeds, 42p each. I had to get the order above £2 in order to get overnight dispatch. But anyway, they've arrived today, so I'll mention the name of the company in the links below in the description. So yeah, we should be all good. So these are now going on. Let's move down over. So obviously 2 larger ones to the left and the 2 smaller ones to the right. I've already cleaned up the surfaces, ready for the new oil cooler. They're in place, and now the oil cooler. Okay, so this is the new oil cooler. This is it still fits a 986, which is actually from a 987. It's the slightly taller one, so obviously more cooling is better. So this is going to cool down even more volume of coolant than the smaller one. So yeah, it's a clear mating service. So this will just go on the top. Okay, a little bit manoeuvring around, but it's in place. And it's the right way around. So these 2 there and there, that's the water, and over here is the oil. And we've got to put the this is the little expansion pipe that goes off to the coolant tank for any excess, because this is the highest part of the waterway, so all the water never goes any higher than this, so any air will escape through here and go back into the coolant bottle. So we'll attach that last. So put the little bolts in now. I think it's 10 Newton meters to do these up, but I'm just going to do them hand tight to begin with, and then I'll torque them all up in opposites, and then that should be done. So I've got the correct tools, whatever you want to call it. There we go. Alright, that's unloosened it. I'm going to try and get it out by hand, and then whatever's in there can drop into this, which should easily be enough. I think this holds something like, I don't know, 17 litres. Make sure that's way over there. I don't know how much this you're going to be able to see. It's starting to drip. Oh, it looks like water anyway, so that's something. Now we've got the heater controls onto, see that there? Yeah. We've got the heater controls coming out on low speed and the maximum temperature to get this out. That's very watery. It doesn't look like there's any, that should be red. It doesn't look like there's any kind of antifreeze in there at all, which makes me wonder if people have just been topping it up because of these oil seals on the oil cooler. Let's try and get some more out of it. I'm going to go back up to the top of the car. Yeah, just yeah, I'll probably press some hoses down here actually. See if we can get some more out. Okay. Get these round the right way. Move that hose back. And then we gently prise this back. And off it goes. So we're going to let that drain for a couple of minutes. Take a sample. Yep. Nice and clear. There we go. Draining out now. Whilst it's doing that, we'll now look at the two hoses here. I think you can see up there. So it's this one and the one behind it. So I'll undo that one first, and that will then free up access to the one behind. We'll let that carry on draining for a little bit more. So this, I believe, is that the water pump? No, I'll have to have a look. On its way. Let's start taking this one off here. So these two are from the heater matrix in the cabin. Return and out. Oops. Let's get this around the right way. So large ones on there, small one on there. These are invaluable, these things. They twist as well, they're really handy. There we go, that's loose. I won't remove the other one just yet. I'll wait till this finishes over here. Just on the last noggins now, so we'll just put that one on just to stop the floor getting really wet. Just temporarily on there. Oh, sorry, wobbled the camera. move the bucket under here, and then we'll take off this one. Hopefully you can still see. There we go. Not so much out of that one. Take the large hose off. Okay, that slipped off. And what we do is just push that off. Get ready, position that. And that's all from the front as well, mainly from the two radiators at the front. And what we can do for belts and braces is to just take the little drain plug, which is that little one there. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. There's not going to be much in here because obviously we've drained most of it from the two hoses. Yeah, in fact there's absolutely nothing. So we'll just put that one straight back in. Oops, oh well, that's gone in there. We'll get that back in a bit. Let's just lift that up. Oops. There we go. Stand up ever so slightly. We'll retrieve that bit. So, hopefully you can see now. And now we'll look to change the water pump and the thermostat. So we'll put the big one back in, because that stays. It also goes below this hose here, and I think this hose here is the one that goes into the water pump. But we'll put this one back. There we go. That's up to the line. There's a little stop mark there on the casing, just so you know where to stop with the hose. And then we'll get this orientated around the right way. Oops. Apologies if my hands are getting in the way here, but this is there are plenty of videos out there to do this, so I might just one more go, and I'm just going to leave it, and I'll attend to this when I do the thermostat of the water pump. Ah, bugger. Go on. I hate these things. They're strong because they provide a nice even tension around the whole of the hose, but they're just a nightmare. And I've got the correct tool, so. Why does it keep popping off? There we go. That's on good enough for now, and until I can get under there and do the thermostat, so we'll stop for now, and then we'll start doing the thermostat and the water pump. So for the water pump, I've got 3 bolts to do inside the car, and the rest are under here. I think the top 2 are the ones that are longer than the rest. So let's see. Okay, so welcome back. What we're going to do now is we're going to attempt to do a big flush on this. You may have seen the previous part. I'll just move this out of the way. Where, let's keep going back. We removed and cleaned out the, I think that's the return, just to get the water pump above there. We've cleaned all that out, cleaned the maintenance services, and just got out any sludge that was in there. We also took the thermostat off, which is up here. Hope you can see that. That's the hose, goes into the thermostat up there. So these 2 hoses, this one here and this one here, go to the front of the car for the 2 radiators. Now what we're going to do, and I've seen this on YouTube, so we'll see if this actually works. we've got this device here. Now this works off compressed air. So your hose goes into the bottom there that you can see just hanging down, the black part, and then in the back here you put your compressed air line. Turn on your hose and it actually fires into the hose. So my plan is, if this is going to work or not, it will probably create an amazing mess, is click that on, it will fire water all the way up to the radiators, and then it will come out of here and go into this nice bucket where it will be put into my big 50-litre tank and deposited up the dump. So yeah, so that's the plan. So let's get it all set up and let's see how it goes. Other than that, there's nothing much else to do. I put a new gasket on there on the thermostat. It's a 82, 83 degree one. I might change the whole thermostat housing, but my main task for today is to get this all flushed and get this running and flushed 2 or 3 times just to get the remainder of the old coolant out, and then to run a head gasket test using a little device I've got, which I'll explain later on once we get it up and running. So yeah, hopefully this will work. Okay, so we've flushed the system. It was really difficult, well, impossible to record, which is why you're not seeing any of it. It worked okay. Clean water came out, so yeah. You know, I'm pretty sure the rads have been flushed nicely. So we've got that main hose button up again, and over here, that one done up. We've flushed through this unit here. That was really sludgy. That goes back to the rads. I think actually no, that goes to the heater matrix. So now what I'm going to do is going to start the ignition and put it on high heat and on very low fan speed, and yeah, I'm just going to start filling it up and flushing it through. So we'll see how much we get in. Apparently it's about 16 litres, 16, 17 litres, which seems a phenomenal amount. Yeah, it's wet under here because of the water that was splashing about. But anyway, let's start to get this thing filled up and see where we go. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. We've put about 10 litres in. It takes 16. So we're right at the top here now. I got to about 9 litres, and then yeah, you can still see it's coming out. I'm waiting for the thermostats to open basically now. It's settled down quite nicely. I've not had a look over there, but let's see if we've got any leaks. I can't tell from the angle I'm at now, but it's quite smooth. So we've got the heater on high and low speed. Everything's all moving around nicely in there. And what we want to do is we want to see these radiators come on. So they've all got fans behind here. Just bring the light, hopefully you can see. We don't appear to have any leaks, which is good. Not seeing anything under there on that front hose. Move that down. Oh, that looks dry. Some residue just dripping off there, I think. But that's good. Look under the car, we can't really see anything leaking out, which is good. You know, I took that one apart. That one up there. There's one there, and then we've got the big one, which is under there. So no leaks from there either. So, I mean, as I said, these are the air conditioning rads. They're shot anyway, but the rads behind didn't look in too bad condition. So hopefully they're going to be okay. So let's just aim the lights down towards the back of the car. We get underneath, so I'm not worried about this. This is just the overflow drip from the expansion tank. Everything looks okay. A little bit of damage I might just buy this piece. If everything works out well, I'm going to buy a new section there. Got some steam coming off the sump. That's to be expected. I think that's the return. I'm not too sure. But anyway, that one's dry. That one's been off. And where's the other one? Up there. That looks nice and dry. You'd be seeing drips by now if there was a problem. But yeah, I think the exhaust is chuffing. Successful start. Unfortunately, my kit to put this in under pressure just fell apart. So good old Chinese stuff. The end here just went pop, so I couldn't put this under pressure. So I'm having to do it manually, which is a real pain. I might, if I've got some time, just try and change that fitment there if I can, for one that actually works. But we'll see. We'll see. It's only got to go onto one of those caps in there, so a bit of a pain trying to fill this thing up as well. As I said, it takes 16 litres. You can't actually get a bucket in here, and that was too big. I've ended up with this small hose here. Let's see where we are now. Yeah. A little bit of pressure coming out. Yeah, let's try and get a light in there. Just see where we are. So yeah, can't quite see. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's gone down, so we'll get some more in there now. Obviously I can't do that with two hands, so yeah, let's just see what it's registering on the coolant tank here. If you shine a light down, it should give you a rough idea. My torch working. Yeah, I think that's, I can't quite see. I don't want to turn you upside down. That's probably a, yeah, it's quite way down. We'll top it up and see how much more it takes, but we want the thermostats to open now, get the coolant to the front radiators, and yeah, keep an eye on the level and rev it a few times, and then when it cools down a little bit, we'll drain it all out and we start the process again. I think I did mention, before I started filling it up, I've got 2 bottles of this. This is the second bottle, Peniston cooling system flush. So that's going in. That's gone in first of all. It says here that you have to let it idle between 45 and 60 minutes. So I probably will do half an hour, to be honest with you. I think I've got to do a couple of these. So I'm pretty confident I've got a lot of the sludge out, especially on the hoses. The radiators are my only concern, but they seem to be holding pressure so far. So anyway, like I say, let's get some more coolant in and see where we are. Okay, I don't know how much of this you can hear, but we're running it at 2,500 at the moment. We're just trying to get those radiators to come on. We don't really want the temperature to go much above 80, but I think that's when the radiators do come on. So I've got my handy apprentice here, Mr. R. Plank, who's got his foot on the accelerator, and we're just waiting for stuff to move here. And we've got a bit of smoke, hopefully water. Not sure if this is from before. I'm not seeing any drips though. Alright, nothing coming out of there. Unless there's anything behind the radiator. I think it just may be the heat coming through. Have a look at the hoses. Oh, the warmth, that's nice, so that's good. So this one here from the back of the car, it's lovely and warm. That's feeding the top of the radiator up there. And then we've got the other hose, which is metal here, and then goes into that fitment there, which is cold at the moment. I just want these fans to come on. Anyway, How's the temperature looking? Yeah, still 80 degrees. Got an engine management light back on, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment, to be honest with you. And we've got that still on high and on low. We'll just drop that down again now. Thank you, Mr. Plank, or Mr. Stick, should I say. Let's take that out and just let it idle. It's popping a little bit. I think it's the amount of water that's been under there. Maybe one of them's got into, yeah, maybe not into the plugs, but into some of the electrics down there. It doesn't. The idle's very nice actually. We don't have an issue down with the new oil cooler. There was a bit of wetness there, which I was worried about, but it's just from when we fitted it. So yeah, that's nice and dry.
Okay, so thanks for watching the video so far. It's been pretty challenging to say the least. In the next video, as you can see here, I'll be showing you the old water pump and the thermostat, the old auxiliary belt, and the new parts that I'm going to fit, or will be fitting in the next video. So stay tuned, look out for the next video. Like, subscribe and share, and thanks very much. See you shortly.